Question. I want to work as a flight attendant and travel the world, but how do I go about becoming one? The short answer, apply directly to airlines who are looking to hire flight attendants. The long answer? Well, many of you might be new to the aviation world and may still be new to the adult working world in general, and perhaps you just don't know where to start. You might still be wondering, what's the application process? What qualifications do I need? Do I need to take courses or go through training? Or even simple questions like, what's an airline? In this video, we hope to clarify the process for those of you wishing to become flight attendants. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and follow. So when we say, apply to airlines who are hiring flight attendants, you may be wondering right off the bat, what's an airline? An airline, simply put, is a company that uses airplanes to transport passengers and/or cargo. If the airline transports passengers, then in most situations, they're required by law to hire flight attendants, who are primarily responsible for passengers' safety and comfort during flight. Major airlines in Canada who employ flight attendants include Air Canada, WestJet, and Air Transat. So when you go on each airline's website, you can find their careers page, listing all positions that the airline is hiring for at the moment. Airlines employ flight attendants, also known as cabin crew. But they also employ pilots, baggage agents, airplane mechanics, customer service agents who help passengers at the airport, airline call center agents, and not to mention many behind-the-scenes positions. If you see a flight attendant job posting, it means the airline is currently hiring flight attendants, and you simply have to follow the instructions in the posting to apply. If you don't see a flight attendant job posting, it means the airline is currently not hiring flight attendants. Check back later, or check other airlines. Simple enough, right? But there are a few important things to note. If you want to be a flight attendant, you have to apply for the airline's flight attendant job posting. If you apply to be an airline customer service agent at the airport, it's a completely different job. And though it will give you valuable airline experience, if you later want to be a flight attendant, even for the same airline, you'll have to start from the beginning and apply for their flight attendant job posting. Flight attendant job postings should specify which bases the airline is hiring for. A base, simply put, is the airport where the airline bases its aircraft and aircrew, namely flight attendants and pilots. For example, WestJet currently has flight attendant bases in Vancouver, Calgary, and Toronto, meaning that they may hire flight attendants to be based at the Vancouver International Airport, the Calgary International Airport, and/or Toronto Pearson International Airport, depending on their needs at each base. If the airline is hiring for multiple bases, you may be allowed to choose which one you want to be based at. Your flight schedules will all start and finish at your base airport. Ultimately, you can live wherever you choose, but it's your responsibility to get yourself to your base airport to report for your flights. For that reason, many new hire flight attendants may need to relocate and live near their base airport. Though an airline uses airport facilities for its base, each airport is run by its own airport management authority. Essentially, the airport authority is the landlord of the airport and its terminal buildings. It rents out space to the coffee shop for the coffee shop to conduct its business, and if you want to work at the airport coffee shop, apply directly to the coffee shop. It rents out space to the airport's security agency to screen passengers, and if you want to be a security agent, apply directly to the security company. It rents out space to customs and immigration authorities to screen international passengers. And if you want to work as a customs agent at the airport, apply directly to the customs agency. Similarly, airlines also are tenants of the airport, renting out gate space to park their planes, check-in space to check in customers, and baggage carousel facilities to deliver passenger bags. If you want to work for the airline, in their airplanes, apply directly to the airline. So if you ever see postings for an airport as opposed to an airline hiring flight attendants, it is a scam. It's also important to know which airline you're applying for. For example, Air Canada flies to many different destinations in Canada, in North America, and internationally. But some other flights, namely leisure destinations, are operated by Air Canada Rouge airplanes and aircrew. Most regional Air Canada flights are operated by Jazz Aviation planes and crew under the banner Air Canada Express. And other flights are operated by Air Canada itself, otherwise known as Mainline Air Canada. To most passengers who simply buy a ticket to fly with Air Canada, they don't really care about the difference. But as an employee, Rouge, Jazz, and Mainline are essentially 3 different airlines, and you can apply to be a flight attendant with all 3. But note that a Rouge flight attendant will only fly on Rouge planes to Rouge destinations within the entire Air Canada network. Same goes for a Jazz flight attendant and a Mainline Air Canada flight attendant. Each one may have different flight attendant bases, and work conditions and pay will also differ. And switching from one to the other may come with conditions, or may simply be impossible, short of quitting one airline and applying from the bottom to another. Do your research and know which one you're applying for. Now that you know which flight attendant job posting you're applying for, it's important to read the posting carefully. Most airlines require their flight attendants to be of legal age, with a high school diploma. They will also require you to go through a criminal background check before you work. Some will only accept applicants who are citizens with a valid passport, while others will accept permanent residents. Most do not care what your work or schooling background is. But not surprisingly, they want applicants with customer service experience, good communication skills, good problem-solving skills, and teamwork skills, and a dedication to passenger safety and well-being. But nearly all applicants will have good customer service, problem-solving, and teamwork skills. What will really set you apart from the others is language skills. All airlines in Canada greatly favor French-speaking applicants, as stated explicitly in their flight attendant job postings, but always have a lot of trouble hiring enough outside of Quebec. And our Canadian French for Flight Attendants audio course was created to help you gain that major edge over the other applicants. Shameless plug out of the way, if you follow the instructions in the job posting to apply, you may be asked to fill out an application form and upload a resume and cover letter. Standard procedures. The hiring process will vary, but generally based on your application and language skills, you may be selected to be interviewed. If you do well during the interview, they'll then test your French and other languages you claim to speak. You'll also be asked to complete a medical examination to confirm that you're physically well enough for the job. If you pass all these steps, then the airline will put you through their flight attendant training program, which you'll also have to pass, lasting from a few weeks to a few months, depending on the airline. You'll be taught how to provide in-flight service, of course, but because the flight attendant's primary responsibility is passenger safety, the vast majority of your training will be safety related. You'll learn about all the safety procedures and equipment on all the aircraft types that your airline flies. Airplane oxygen, in-flight firefighting, emergency evacuations, first aid, disruptive passengers, and much, much more. External flight attendant courses offered by certain colleges and flight attendant schools will also teach generic airline safety and service protocols. But most, if not all airlines in Canada, as evidenced by their flight attendant job postings, do not require that applicants take these courses, and taking one will not give you any advantage over the other applicants. By aviation law, the airline will train you on their aircraft types, regardless if you've done external flight attendant courses or not. What will give you an advantage is your language, namely French skills, as explicitly stated in their job postings. So I hope you have a better understanding of how to apply to become a flight attendant in Canada. And most of what was mentioned applies to flight attendants and airlines around the world. Thanks so much for watching. Did we miss any important information? Is the process different in your country or your airline? Leave your comments below, and have a great day wherever your travels may take you.